Welcome to a new Paradigm of Education podcast. I'm your host, Monique Sayers, along with our other host, Carrie Jeroslow. And today's guest is Arne D'Haeyer, which I know I've pronounced wrong, and he will go through his pronunciation in a moment. I'm very, very honored to have him on our show today because he offers so many gifts to the world. He is a Badsjamaan, a new world pioneer, a gatekeeper, a crystalline channel, a crystal healer, a meditation and ceremony facilitator, and so much more, so much more. I was really drawn to his energy and presence when meeting him, and I really felt like what he's about to share with us is a really powerful gift, a much needed gift within this new paradigm of education. Because we all know a new paradigm of education is just letting go of expectations, letting go of ideals, letting go of the old stories, and being in a place of pure divine allowance for the gift of this moment. So in this podcast, I hope that you'll be able to sit into your heart center and just really feel into the three of us transmitting a beautiful energy through us, through you, and that you are also part of this. It's like how we wrote our book, A New Paradigm of Education. It was created with 8 authors with the intention of it being a collaborative force across the planet. It was never just about us, it was about serving the greater good. And that's also the intention of our podcast. So with that in mind, I'd really love to hear from you, Arne, and just could you share more about yourself, please? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monique. First of all, I'm very grateful to be here together with you. I already had a lovely start of the day, so it's a perfect tune in for this. I'm honored that you asked me for this because it's the first time I'm able to do something like this. So I'm very happy that my first time is with you two guys. So let's make it a blast.
So my question for you is, first of all, what drew me to you was this energy or this concept of crystalline healer or crystalline channeling. And I'd love you to explain that to maybe people who don't know what that is yet. And then we can also fine tune that into how that works within a new paradigm. Would that be okay?
Yeah, perfect. To talk about myself,
sure.
I can refer to human beings in general. So a human being is like the embodiment of the earth energies in relation with the universal energies surrounding the earth. So a human being is the totality materialized, crystallized in form of the earth and the universe. Like all the other things we know on the earth, like the animals, the plants, things we see, they are just a specific frequency of an energy in the universe connecting with a crystal, a type of crystal in the earth, and this frequency match crystallizes itself in our 4D, four-dimensional plane of existence. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
So, but crystals, they are not on top of the earth. We cannot see them, the minerals. They are inside, like the womb of Mother Gaia, of our planet. In the same way, a human being, before it is born, it is also in the womb of its mother. So the only contact it has is with the inside of the mother. This is his whole reality, his whole surrounding. And in the same way, the crystals are like the children of Mother Earth. But they can also be born. And I'm one of the first born crystals taking form, taking a body in the physical, tangible plane which we can experience with our senses. But because the crystals are like the building blocks of everything that exists in the world, because in essence, everything is made out of minerals, which are crystals. So everything, every form, every matter, in its essence can be described as a crystalline form. The first thing that is the first thing energy can become is crystalline. Yeah. So in this way, crystals are everything. And like I said, like in the beginning, human beings are also the totality, the embodiment of the totality of everything in the earth in relationship with everything surrounding the earth. So that's an infinite cosmos. So that's why it was possible for the crystal consciousness, because I'm not one stone, one crystal in the earth that became a human. No, I'm just an embodiment, an humanification. I don't know if that's a word, but now it is. A humanification, like, wow, it reminds me of the word mummification, which, and another word for that is Christ, the Christ, the Christ. So back in old Egypt, the people were so conscious that they turned their bodies into this cocoon with oils and honey and like everything good in nature to Christ, to crystallize their being, so that one day this body can become a crystal, or a crystal human, a Christ.
Wow. That's amazing, and it's huge, and it's probably maybe new for some of our people that are listening. But what I want to take away from that and put it into like maybe this 3D format or 4D format is that the consciousness of the energy of the crystal is very important when we're considering like education, because if everything is energy and everything is crystal energy, then how are we doing that? And how can we also even use that within schools or within, you know, fields or environments to be able to support our children and to nurture them with their learning and their growth? Because it seems like it's there anyway, it's present anyway, whether it's in a human form, whether it's in consciousness, whether it's in the trees. And how can we bring awareness to that? And then secondly, yeah, what physical things can we bring in to support that as well, even though it's all under the ground? Like maybe there's a place where we're not in a, I don't know, this purity, you know, and how can we find the purity, or what tools can we implement in to support that? Do you understand what I'm asking in a way?
Yeah, you're asking a lot of questions, but
yes,
they're all very necessary to talk about.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the like the personal use for children,
Yeah.
but also for the teachers and the persons who are there.
Yeah.
But also you asked about the surroundings. What can we do to make the energy in the room better?
Yeah.
So that are two things that are really where we can really use crystals for. Like to start with the room, like to block out lower energies or like Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi, or like we can really use shungite. Shungite is like a black crystal like this.
Wow.
I also have here a little bit pyramid shape.
Oh, amazing.
So shungite is very good for radiation, for blocking energies that you don't want. And now we are talking about shungite. It's also one of the best crystals to purify water. So to have purified crystal water inside of the classroom is very good thing, because then this cleansing energy, this protecting energy of the shungite is transformed into the water, because water has memory. So this information will be stored inside every drop. And then the children drink all of the same kind of water. So immediately they turn into the same frequency, and also the frequency of the room, because we can put some bigger pieces inside of the classroom that also like resonate with the thing we are drinking.
That's powerful. I really resonate with that. Your chapter was about that, Carrie, wasn't it? You talked about the power of water.
Yeah, I talked about that using the ideas of that experiment to teach children the power of their thoughts and their energy, and specifically with plants, having plants in the classroom, and you know, using music, different kinds of music, and different kinds of thoughts, and to actually show the children, you know, what will happen to a plant. They can see the plant, you know, they can see the plant thriving or the plant not thriving. And so it will give them real time, you know, example of the power of sending love and sending a lower vibrational, you know, feeling, hate, anger, to see how it really affects us. Yeah.
I love that you talked about this, because the logo of my brand is also inspired on the research of Masaru Emoto.
Yes.
When he crystallizes drops of water which were infected by words or thoughts or different kind of music, their crystalline structure will change. And that's the same that you are explaining. It's because of the water in the plant,
right,
that the structure of the plant will crystallize in a different way. And one way will be beneficial for the plant, and the other way will be harmful and can make the plant die. So we used, like, when we would talk and say the words "ama" balance, then our logo would be the crystallization of this vibration put into water with love.
Yeah, it's, you know, I so in my chapter I talk about, because I am one of the first, not one of the first, but in the kind of like first group of indigos. So I was born in 1970, and you know, looking at the difference between indigos who are, you know, denser energy but aware, right? And so like in my chapter, I talk about, you know, how indigos have a more indigo aura, and, you know, they kind of evolved into the crystalline, which have evolved into the rainbows. Again, you know, that is a term that was used to maybe talk about the aura, the energy bubble around us, but it's also really the frequency of and the vibration of these beings coming into bodies to help raise the vibration on the planet. And I have 8 and 12-year-old, almost 13. We're a month away from teenage years. And so I'm watching, specifically my older child came in, and I talk about this in my chapter, I had a very strong sense that he has never had a human body, because human things were challenging for him. The way he came into the, you know, the way he came from my womb out into the world, you know, his challenges with eating and sensory, and, you know, even up to now, coming from a place where manifestation happened like that, and now having the denser energy for things to take time and that kind of stuff. So I guess one of my questions is, would you talk about, you know, your youth and what that looked like, you know, to help us parents who have children that are younger and are going through like being in the 3D world, you know, like now my son is, you know, got hormones going on. This is a part of the physiological, you know, aspect of his body, and having a human body. And at the same time, we are constantly, you know, talking about manifestation and his truth and who he truly is and all that. But I'm just curious if you can walk us through kind of your growing up so we can have some context. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Normally, in the eyes of science, I would have been born like 2 weeks earlier. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Around 26th of July. Yeah. But at that period, the Lion's Gate, star portal, it opens. So this fetus, this little human being who was already full grown to be born,
Mm-hmm.
he knew, or my soul, my spirit knew, that it was his duty to stay longer inside this safe space, like the most loving safe space there is for a human being to be in is the womb of the loving mother. Because this was a gate, a portal that my soul and other light workers opened like ages ago. Because even when in the time of the pyramids, the point of the largest pyramid in Giza is aligned with the blue star Sirius on the moment when this star orientated in the Orion's belt, where the planet Gaia gets his information from, his spiritual knowledge. Yeah, on the moment it's located closest to Earth in the year. Mm-hmm. So they knew they could create one of the best shapes known to mankind to canalize energy into a plane on a place on Earth where it would be aligned with a star millions of miles away when this star is closest to Earth, because this will be used to download the information coming from Sirius. So they knew this. Yeah. So in this way, my soul knew that it was my portal that was opening, that my own soul, my own spirit could come through this portal, through this Lion's Gate, the 888 portal, on the 8th of August, to fill my little body inside the womb with this knowledge and love and crystalline energy. Yeah. So I stayed there till 8/8, the 8th of August, when the energy of the Lion's Gate is at its highest point. And then I stayed another 8 days inside this loving space to process this unconditional love inside this unconditional love space. So as within, so without was already perfectly balanced. And then after 8 days, I processed it to infinity and beyond. And then I could be born in the world to let the world experience this new kind of consciousness, which was created inside the womb of the mother, which is the reflection of the crystal consciousness, which is also created inside the womb of the mother.
Oh.
Yes. So, because I was sitting so long in my mother's belly, my birth strength, like the birth cord, or
the umbilical, yes.
Yeah, it was like turned around my neck like a hang rope, or like the snake of Shiva, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had to cut it because otherwise I was going to die. And that's why also they cut the belly open to can take me out fast, because otherwise I could not be born the natural way. Yeah. So but this is a very important part of the story, because I was born in Ghent. And Ghent, a medieval city in Belgium with postal code 9000, we are called, the Ghentians are called the dead rope carriers.
Wow.
So I was born in Ghent as a real Ghentian.
Yes.
But we carry this rope with pride, because we know we can die. Our physical body, we can die. So we are the free spirits, we are the sovereign beings. And why I told you the postal code, because 9000, 9 is the number of completion, because it's the last number of the single digits. Because when you have 10, you have 2 digits. Yeah, so it's completion. 9000. You know the prophecy of the 1000 a place on the earth where old souls, the 1444, the 144,000, and there's something with the numbers in my head, but okay, where they are all have reincarnated so many times that this lifetime, it's completion time, it's the end time. Yeah, it's the Kali Yuga, which is also this new age, this new golden age of Aquarius. Yeah, we are like the souls who make this possible, because this new age, it's a reflection of our consciousness. Yeah. So in Ghent, you have like a lot of different soul groups, like people from all the different kinds of, which are all like visible in Gandhi, because everybody is one, so everybody can reflect a different portion of consciousness to let the other portion of consciousness know its unity. Okay, so I was born and he's an alien.
Yeah.
I looked very unearthly, they say. So yeah. But
This is,
even though
I just want to say one thing. This is all very interesting because my oldest also had the cord wrapped around his throat 3 times and had to be taken from me cesarean, and also looked like an alien. It actually, when he was about 3 years old, he started telling us that he was from Jupiter, and that he was and he knew the language, and he would try to say it, and we didn't really let him watch TV at this time, so it was not like he got it from anything, and there was very much an alien energy to him, and I just find it very interesting. And my second child, I was able to have vaginally, naturally. You know, he came in that way. But and my oldest was at least a week late, a week of being. But I also loved being pregnant. I loved it. I was like, I don't know, people thought I was weird, but I just loved this like sacred time of holding him inside of me and just like having that really special moment between he and I. But anyway, so I just wanted to say that, because that was like, oh wow, that was the experience I from the mother side. And I thought, and like I said, my husband and I always thought he never had a body here on earth before. But okay, so go back to so growing up, what was that like?
So yeah, my mother was also very in love with the pregnancy, and she did like pregnant yoga and pregnancy swimming and all these beautiful things, and singing songs to the belly and massaging the belly, and like, yeah, it was a very safe space to be in. And yeah, when I was just a really small child who sleeps still in this kind of high bed where you can go up, my mother wake up at the night, and my light body was standing at her bedside. So my physical body was still sleeping in the other room, but my light body, my soul, my higher dimensional shape was standing there, and she could talk to me. Like, maybe not in words, but she could have a conversation on an energetic level. So yeah, this story my mother told me when I was also still quite young. So it was always quite natural for me that these things are possible and that these things are what I am. And like, I was always, because love has 2 sides. You have support and you have resistance. Like, not really resistance, but when you say something to someone and it triggers him, and it's possible for him to come out. Like, what's the word for that? Like, to
react?
Yeah.
Respond?
Yeah, so a kind of reactivity. You have like, but something which makes you or could make you react, like to step out of yourself, like to like you have this kind of, yeah, the other side of support, you know. But the word is, I don't really know the translation, but
Resistance, perhaps, something like this.
yeah, that was what I said first.
Yeah.
But it's because in Dutch it is like the word out is inside of it.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's uitdaging. It's to like to make you come out of yourself, like to step out. So
Okay.
you have this resistance which makes you respond, which makes you step out, and then you have this support. And as a parent, you will naturally already realize that, like, or when you were a child, when you got support of your dad, the chance is big that at the same moment your mother was giving you resistance, or the other way around. So both parents, because they are really loving the child, when the one gives support, the other one will give some resistance, because this is what love is. Love cannot exist without these two components. So in every moment there is pain and pleasure, and if you say there is no pleasure or no pain, you cannot experience the love that you are. Yeah. So I also experienced this, of course, with my parents, like both sides from both parents. And so you have love, and because I already knew as a soul that life is about self-love, about self-knowledge, about self-realization, it's about the internal process, it's about the inner path, it's about this way. So to, in some kind of sense, like protect myself from losing this path of truth, from walking a different path than my heart was leading me to, I, on a very young age, I like pushed away my mother's love. Like when she wanted to hug me and when she wanted to give me milk or something like that, I said like, no, I can do it myself. And I would take the bottle and I would just want to sit alone in my chair when I was 3 years old, like, and drink the bottle myself, like 2 years old, like, because this is very important. And later when I hear this story, I felt very emotional, because I love to hug people, you know, I love to share love, and I love to receive love. And that I hurted my mother in her experience by doing this also like really took me and made me even cry when I was little, that yeah, that I did that without of my knowing, because I did not really remember that I did that. Just because she told me I did that, I could remember. But it was very necessary for my life process, because I would have a lot of resistance from the outside world, because my light always puts the darkness inside the light. Yeah, but darkness itself, it has no power, it has no consciousness. Light is consciousness. So the subconscious parts of human beings we can call darkness. And my higher consciousness was sending out light and love, which triggered the unconscious parts inside of the other minds.
Right.
To become visible and to grow to the light, to become born.
Right.
And it's just a natural process, you know, and they don't have to do it. It's like the soul knows his way to the light. And when you let it, when you don't resist, and when you don't say, no, I don't want to be that, I want to be like this, and I want to stay like this, and this is who I am. If you don't do this, then you will just evolve naturally to what you are. And this is a very important thing to also remember when we are talking about education, because just like in the seed of a flower, the seed contains already the beautiful flower in its totality. Yeah, but when we look at the seed, we can even use a microscope if you like, you will not see the flower. You have to know the nature of the flower to be able to see it in the seed. Yes.
Yeah.
So
there's a couple things that I just want to say that you said that I want to touch on that I think are really important, is the need for contrast, right? The need for contrast. You say dark and light. I talk about it as love and fear. You know, what is the illusion that we think we are that comes from fear? What is the truth that we are that comes from light and love? And what is happening in the world in every sector, I think.
I want to just pick in on that, because if you keep believing that it's between fear and love, it's a very subtle way of thinking about it. But then you will create duality, because the fear is also the resistance, which is a part of love, which is not an component on itself. So the two things are what is love. So it's not no duality where you the one thing you don't want and the other thing you want. The two parts, you want both. You want the fear because of the fear you can experience the love. Because without the fear you cannot experience love, because the fear you're talking about is just the other side of the coin of love.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And I do think that the new paradigm is moving away from duality, or not away, but that duality and just binary. I see that is like old paradigm, you know, that is like looking at exactly what you said, of the two sides of fear is on one side, love is on the other. So I totally I think I understand where you're going with that. And I see the way that you're talking about it in terms of, you know, that both sides are a part of love, that one consciousness. You know, very, very interesting to, you know, how we bring that into education. I feel like, you know, there is a lot of that kind of triggering going on, of the shining of the light that you're talking about, like that's triggering kind of the darker sides of us. Like if everything is reflecting us, you know, what are the sides, or not sides, but what are the parts of us that it is triggering, and how we, you know, shine the light.
I would like to say I was explaining my past.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was also old paradigm.
Got it.
Now is now. So the things I was talking about, they are, I brought them up now, but they are not here anymore. So it's how I experienced, and how my parents and how my youth was, how my experience was when I was younger. But now I don't experience this anymore. So it's also not quite relevant to talk about this, because we are talking about the new paradigm, because we are talking about this new age, this new consciousness, which is here now. Yeah. So if we believe this is here now, it is here now. And at that moment, all the subconscious dark parts in your mind are just dissolving with the light of the moment here now. So it's not our thing to bring up, like, or to talk about how things were. We are talking about how things can be, or how we would like the things to see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love that. And I actually am a bit lost for words. This transmission, if anybody wants to be in the presence of Arne, it's really powerful. His transmission is just coming through, and I'm just downloading so much information just by what you're sharing. So I actually got a little bit in a trance and lost with what was being spoken, because I just allowed myself to be in that space of now. And what is new, right? Every moment is new. That's exactly right. And I don't know, maybe this sounds psychological, maybe it doesn't, but for me, the new paradigm in itself, when I felt into it, I'd actually just felt ancient. It didn't feel like, wow, this is like this new thing. It's just something that's in us already, that we all know, that presence, that stillness, that place of peace, that's already there. And I'm seeing now in the world, probably what you were trying to share, Carrie, was the reflection of that new things are being birthed as a reflection of that, because people are waking up, people are seeing their light. And that's like the exciting part that I'm thrilled with embracing and embodying in the new paradigm, is that people are not standing for being stuck any longer. They're not standing for ickiness, or, all of these kind of things that I can feel like these kind of claws pulling, like a treadmill and claws are pulling, and people are waking up. And I think that that's the beauty of like collaborating with people like yourself and other light workers, and other people. It doesn't have to be light workers, other people, without any names, without any titles, people of the world, children of the world, whoever they are, just to come forth and to just trust in the wisdom within, trust that is what is needed to educate all of us. Yeah. And it's kind of formless and it's wordless, what we're talking about. I think we agree with that, right?
But the crystals are the form of what you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah.
So they are like the perfect tools. They are like the bridge between this non-physical plane where words are shooting short.
Mm-hmm.
But and between this plane and the physical plane, which everything we know is like something we can taste, see, smell, or touch. But the thing we are talking about, which is our essence itself, which is the I am that I am, which is our source, which is our light, this is not describable with this five-sensical type of wording. Yeah, but the crystals are a tangible, a physical, a touchable, a smellable, a hearable, a tasteable kind of matter, which is this crystallization of the non-physical conscious plane, which is what it's all about.
Okay.
So that's why we can use the crystals as a mirror for the self. So for people to let them know themselves, or for children, because we don't have to teach children things. No. Everything, just like the little seed of the flower, everything is already inside of the child. And you don't have to ask, what do you want to become? You have to ask, what are you? And it's our task to support the little child to create a space to be able to find himself and to be able to express what he is. We are not saying you should express in this way and you should talk about this and you should learn this and you should sing this song. No, just tune in with yourself and be yourself and tell me what comes out of it. Do what you feel you want to do. And if we keep on supporting this, the child will just grow into the most perfectly imperfect being it can be, because he already is it.
I totally hear you about that.
If you like inside of a classroom, it would be very nice, like in the beginning of the year, that not everybody gets his books, but everybody can choose a crystal. Yeah, and like if you take a clear quartz like this, it's like such a pure crystalline energy that you, with your consciousness, can program it for whatever you like it to reflect to you. So you can tune in with the children and let them say how they feel and what they want. And based on that, you can also let them think about what they would like to have, what they would like to have to support them inside of their growth process. And then they can transform their own crystal with this intention of, you will help me to realize what I know I am, but what I want to see in the world. Because normally it's invisible, like it's almost invisible.
Yeah.
But we can feel it, we can touch it, we can see it. It's beautiful. Everybody likes it. And you can really feel your own energy responding to it. And there are a lot of different kinds of crystals which we can use for like people who have maybe a little bit stage fright, or who are timid to speak and or don't find the words. You can use like the sword of wisdom.
Wow.
It's like a blue kyanite, and it resonates with the throat chakra, and it really cuts the cord. So the creative energy can flow from the heart through the throat and express with the mouth. Yeah. Or you can use amethyst just to calm down the mind and to center and to breathe. And when it's a little bit stressy, you just say, okay, now you can take your amethyst crystal, and we're going to breathe a couple of times and just center ourselves. And also the teacher will do the same. She will have some crystal that she knows, because like an example, for this class, I will need this kind of crystal, because this is this kind of energy, and they will just feel intuitively. You can have a set, and they can just choose which one they feel like is supporting their energy in this moment. My mother and also my girlfriend, they are both teachers, and my partner, she already does this.
Really? Wow.
She uses crystals for herself in this way, like and also she gives crystals to her class. So before the exams, to make them concentrate, like a very good crystal for that is the green fluorite.
Wow. So beautiful to see. The people should tune into the video so they can see it rather than the podcast for this one. There's some beautiful crystals being shown.
And it's very good for the brain balance and for concentration. And so they gave this kind of crystal to the children before the exams, and so it's already happening, which is really nice. And my mother, she's a kindergarten teacher, and they're like 2 to 3 years old, the children. And not so long ago, my mother invited me to come and talk about crystals inside her classroom. So you have like 25 little children, and every one of them was so intrigued and in awe, like really like, wow. And I played this little game where I asked about the colors of the rainbow. And I asked like, what's the first color of the rainbow at the bottom part? And then some shouted red, and then I took my red crystal out of my little box, and they were all like, "Wow!" And then I had crystals in all the colors of the rainbow, and I did them all 7 of them, and every time the surprise was different and so real and so pure and so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also gave a crystal to each one of them, and they could come and take it. And I asked them to just close their eyes and tune in with their heart and hold it to their heart space.
Mm-hmm.
And they all did it, and it was so naturally. And with 25 of them, they were there sitting in silence. And my mother is teaching for 25 years, and she never experienced this in her life. Like this age, doing this, she was also like blown away about. And it was like the first time I did this, so I had also no experience with it. It was not about me; it was just about them and what the crystals are for them.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm just so blown away by all of that wisdom around how we can use crystals, or they can choose us to help support us. And to have children that way, just to be silent, that is huge. I know my daughter's 4, and currently like she'll like get her fingers like in the Kundalini pose, and she'll sit for like maybe 5 seconds with her eyes shut, and that's her meditation. You know, it's beautiful, and I don't mind. It's fine. I like her running and, you know, being lively, but yeah, really, it's enough. But what I'm saying is, this is remarkable to have this impact, like that there really was this stillness. That's really remarkable. So I agree with what your mother was sharing around that. Did anything else come to mind for you, Carrie, to ask before we move into our closing space?
Well, the idea of, you know, the crystals and the stones, my oldest has a bag of those underneath his pillow. Oh. And every night he takes them out and he looks at them and counts them and just makes sure, you know, kind of they're all there, and puts them back in the bag and puts them under his pillow. He does this every night. And I think it really helps to ground him and prepare him for, you know, sleep and just dream state. So, yeah. I
got goosebumps hearing you say that. Yeah, they are the caretakers. And yeah, those newborn children, the rainbows, and they don't really need the crystals to be themselves, but still crystals love to be taken care of. They are also living beings, and because like I already said, a human being is the totality, the sum total of everything which we know and don't know on Earth and in the universe. So the more things you know visible on Earth, like the more plants and flowers and animals and insects and crystals you know, the more you know yourself. And because they really know themselves, the new children, they are born awake. They also want to take care of the crystals, like they want to take care of a little pet or of a cat, or they want to have plants in their room and they want to water them, and they want to go outside and to talk to the flowers and talk to the bees and be happy all day long. They just, it's a natural thing to want to share love and want to care about what you are yourself, because when you are doing this, you're also taking care of yourself, and that's what he's doing. He's taking care of these parts of his own mind which are crystallized underneath his pillow, and then he orders it in the right place so that his mind is in a frequency state that it can go into the dream state in a delta wave, and then he can sleep just by doing this, because crystals are the building blocks of the universe. So they can represent everything, and if his consciousness is connected to them in this way, they will be what he thinks they are, what he wants them to be. And it's natural, and that's why it's true, because he don't think about it like we want to think about it. It's just how he does it.
That's a beautiful awareness. I really do. I am very thankful for that communication. And interesting. My youngest is such a, I just call him the biggest love bug, because he just says over and over how much he loves me and loves himself and loves his family. And that's how he goes to sleep. He rings a bell to call in the angels, and then like touches a dream catcher to call in the elders, and have them kind of circle his bed. And then he just talks about, to his last words, I love you so much, mommy. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you, over and over again. And it's just a really beautiful way to go to sleep, is to go in that kind of energy of the non-physical and that consciousness of love, which is, touches me all the time. But I appreciate your communication about, the counting and how that's really important, and how that connects him to the truth of who he is. Thank you for that.
Yeah, if we give crystals to children, we can learn a lot of them from them. They will show us things, they will make grids, and they will tell us things what the crystals told them, and we can like really open up our minds for an infinite amount of new possibilities which we never ever thought about ourselves.
Right, I see that. I see that the knowledge that they hold and the communication between them. Yeah, wow, really cool.
Yeah, because the crystals are the memory of Earth. So
yep, I just got that.
The human race is here for 200,000 years. Yeah. Every crystal that I have is older than that. So all the crystals were here from the beginning of humanity on Earth. So everything we experienced through all these lifetimes, the crystals experienced them with us. And okay, you could say, yeah, but the one crystal is in Madagascar and the other one is in Indonesia, and yeah, how can this crystal from Madagascar know what happens in Japan? No? In the same way that when it's breeding time in the oceans, the whale makes the sound of oh. And the whole ocean knows instantly it's breeding time. Instantly. The same that sharks smell blood, or they know some creature is bleeding from miles away. At the instant the blood drop hits the water, the shark knows. It has no time to transfer this distance. So in the same way, everything that happens on the Earth, the crystal grids of the Earth, which is like an internetwork, and now we are making it an outer network. So the moment something comes in this network, the whole web is being informed of this information. So all information which was created on every place on Earth, we can find in every crystal on whatever place on Earth you like. And by taking them out of the ground and even making them a little more how they would like to be in the world, like polishing them, showing their colors, and like making a shape out of it, and like really like this is you now, and then they can tell you everything they know. which is everything you are.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow. And that in itself is education, just what you've shared. I mean, to know who you are and to fulfill that purpose on earth, or not on earth, in the, you know, in the realms as they go. I don't know a lot about the technology or the way to explain that, but that for me is what I believe is education. And I feel that is what finally the world is ready to hear, in terms of this dimension that we're in, that the world is moving into that place of, well, we are ready now. We are done with this old style of learning, like just reading a book or just writing something down. Like, we're here to fully embody that within ourselves and to live that true essence of that, and for that wisdom to come through as in this crystalline form that you're explaining is, I don't even have words for this. It's like so precious to know and to hear from you. So I'm really, really grateful that you could share that wisdom. And I hope that our listeners and viewers will also just take a moment to really breathe into what is being shared today, because it's very, very, very profound and very ancient knowledge. And yeah, I could listen to this a few times myself and continue to download what has been shared. And I'm just really grateful. We've been speaking for a long time, so I feel like perhaps it's time for us to close our ceremony. So before we do, did you want to just share a way people could contact you, or something that you wanted to offer as a service to help them in some way? And then we'll close after that.
Yeah, they can contact me on my website, which is amabalance.be. So AMA balance.be.
We'll place that also in the
And
notes.
when you look, yes, when you look my name up on Facebook, we can have a contact there, and we can have a private session, and yeah, I can listen whatever is your need in the moment, what you would like to receive, and I can just transmit it, channel it through you, and you will receive it no matter the distance. Or yeah, we have experienced this today also. Like we did what we were talking about.
Yes, I feel that through my whole being. It's
And
been a
everybody
transmission.
felt it coming.
Yeah, I just wanted to honor you and your time and your presence, and also allow this energy to channel out into our beautiful planet for everybody who's also wanting to be
Beautiful.
receiving this, you know. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so thank you everybody for
Thank you.
thank you all for tuning into a new paradigm of education podcast. And yeah, I can wholeheartedly say that I'm Arne's essence is of purity and of service to the world. So reach out, and healing will definitely be happening in the right form. So okay, namaste everybody. Thank you.